Good morning. It is day number 17 on the Palmetto Trail, and I am starting out at Lynch's Wood, which is a park right beside Newberry. And we stayed at the Walmart parking lot last night. It's always not the best to stay at Walmart. There's just rowdy people there all the time, no matter where we go. But on the same token, very grateful for Walmart for letting us park there. And the trail is only a mile away from the Walmart, so that's just wonderful. There's lots and lots of different trails in this park, but of course I'm just doing the Palmetto one. And the length is about 5 miles. I was just thinking to myself I couldn't see the Palmetto Trail, and here I'm standing right beside this sign. Not very pronounced. Anyways, let's go. Yeah, you can really hear the cicadas this morning. So a little more information. My mom talked to some construction workers yesterday who told us about the cicadas, that the 17-year and the 13-year cicadas both came out at the exact same time this year, and that happens every 100 years. So we are feeling pretty special to be here during this time. And I think it's just in this area as well. But they said that the police have been getting so many calls from people wondering, what is that noise? What's going on? So they had to do a special announcement on TV and stuff telling people, don't worry, it's just the cicadas. It's not the end of the world. Palmetto Trail this way. Okay. Samson was a judge of Israel and a Nazirite, yet he ventured to the Philistine city of Gaza and saw a harlot there, if you know what I mean. When the Gazites were told Samson has come here, they surrounded the place and lay in wait for him all night at the city gate. They were quiet all night, thinking that in the morning, when it was daylight, they would kill him. But Samson arose at midnight and took the doors and the 2 gateposts with it, bar and all, put it on his shoulders and carried it to the top of the hill that faces Hebron. In other words, he carried the doors with the still attached gateposts almost all the way to Hebron, which is in Judah, which is 38 miles or 60 kilometers from Gaza. He left Gaza defenseless, and he gave Judah a Philistine souvenir. Afterward, it happened that he fell in love with a woman in the valley of Sorek, and her name was Delilah. They are not certain if she was a Philistine, but it probably seems that she was not. This trail ducks in and out of the woods, but you can appreciate the stonework. The lords of the Philistines came to Delilah and said, "Entice him and find out where his great strength lies and how we can overpower him. If you do, each one of us will give you 1,100 pieces of silver." This was a huge bribe. So Delilah started in on Samson. "Tell me where your great strength lies and with what you may be bound to afflict you." She got to the point right away. Samson played with her mind. "If they bind me with 7 fresh bowstrings not yet dried, then I will become weak like any other man." So she tried that and became insulted when it didn't work. So he said, "If they bind me with new ropes that have never been used." Why he wanted to play this game, no one will ever know. Of course, he got out of that like noodles, and Delilah asked why he was mocking her. "Okay, if you bind my hair in a loom, then I will become weak." Each time she said, "Samson, the Philistines are upon you." And each time he got out of it. "How can you say you love me when your heart is not with me?" And she pestered him daily. So he finally told her all that was in his heart. "No razor has ever come upon my head, for I have been a Nazarite to God from my mother's womb. If I am shaven, then my strength will leave me." Glad I don't have to cross over on that log. But this is a nice stream. Delilah then lulled him to sleep on her lap and got the Philistines to shave his head. And that was Samson's demise. They put out his eyes, put him in bronze fetters, and he became a grinder in the prison. Earlier, he had used a donkey's jawbone to kill the Philistines, and now they were using him as an animal. What a change to him who had been the judge and champion of Israel. Now weak, blind, imprisoned, and degraded to the most menial service. God had borne long with him, but when he so yielded himself to the power of sin so as to betray his secret, the Lord departed from him. Look at these massive leaves right in front of my face. And then what are these things on them? I don't know if they're good or bad, but anyways, it's interesting. There was no virtue in his long hair merely, but was a token of his loyalty to God. So when the symbol was sacrificed in the indulgence of passion, the blessings associated with that symbol were also forfeited. I just met a really nice biker guy. He stopped and talked to me. He's local. And he said, "Yeah, you do not hear this noise every year. There's also 7-year cicadas. But yeah, they're all coming out right now. So that's pretty incredible." And he also assured me about copperheads. He said they'll let you step right over them and they won't make themselves known. They're not really aggressive. So I'm going to hold him to that. So the people would come and make fun of Samson, and they gathered together to offer a great sacrifice to Dagon, their god, to rejoice that this god delivered Samson into their hands. They didn't realize his hair was growing. When their hearts were merry, they called for Samson to be brought to their party place so that they could make fun of him. Samson had the lad that led him there put him between 2 pillars, and he put his hands on the pillars. Then he called to the Lord, saying, "O Lord God, remember me, I pray. Strengthen me, I pray, that I may with just one blow take vengeance upon the Philistines for my 2 eyes." He braced himself with the pillars and then said, "Let me die with the Philistines." And he pushed with all his might, and the temple fell down, and 3,000 people were killed that were inside and that were on the roof. The idol and its worshippers, priests and peasants, warrior and nobles, were buried together beneath the ruins of Dagon's temple. And among them was the giant form of him whom God had chosen to be the deliverer of his people. He killed more people this way than in his life. Then his brothers and all his father's household came and got him and gave him a proper burial. Physically, Samson was the strongest man on the earth, but in self-control, integrity, and firmness, he was one of the weakest men. Many mistake strong passions for a strong character, but the truth is, he who is mastered by his passions is a weak man. The real greatness of the man is measured by the power of the feelings that he controls, not by those that control him. In Samson, one who was devoted to God, the Lord designed to set before his people an object lesson of the strength they might obtain to overcome their foes in submission and service to their God. Unfortunately, tragically, Samson refused to bring his life into harmony with the plan God had for him. God has a plan for every life, mine and yours. Yet that plan does not preclude free choice. We must still choose whether we will follow the divine blueprint or not. Whether you want to hear it or not, let me give you my opinion of this Lynch's Wood passage. For starters, unless it's the surname of a guy, I'm not liking the name Lynch's. And secondly, this trail just meanders in and out in this patch. It's a round trip trail, so it's not like the Palmetto Trail is going from point A to point B. It's another one of those situations where they probably just want to show off a park that they have. It's not really practical, so I wasn't that fond of it, to tell you the truth. It seemed to serve no purpose in regards to the Palmetto Trail. But anyways, I got a talk in and 5 miles of exercise, so that's good. They claim it had old growth cedars in here, but I sure never saw any old growth big trees. Samson's experience is an illustration of how a man may completely thwart the high destiny that God had planned for him. Have you asked God what plan he has for your life? I challenge you to find out what it is and follow it. He can do great things through you if you will let him. Now I'm on to the Newbery passage, which means a walk down busy roads, but it also means exploring the town of Newberry. So I'm kind of excited for that. See, way too busy for me. This is Main Street, and it's a much more manageable street. Phew. They said there'd be antebellum homes along this stretch. If nothing else, I can look at cute houses. Isn't this a grand estate? Oh, it gets better and better. Historic downtown Newbery. Yay, I'm finally getting there. What a fun afternoon I'm having exploring this neat historical town after my hard hike this morning. I'm in an antique store and it smells like cats, and now I know why. It's the most cluttered place I've ever been into. I mean, have you seen the beat of it? Whew. Oh, there's a Japanese garden here. Sweet. I do appreciate a cute Japanese garden. here's the camper, and I've walked 9.5 miles today.